Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. We're just actually going to part 2 of the Tiffany Rockelle story that came out in the Los Angeles Times. An incredibly well-written article, very much in-depth, written, perfectly laid out for us about what she did and what she is continuing to do, and how the government of California is failing these children at every step of the way and just don't give a shit about any of this stuff. It's crazy. Let's continue. All right, so we left off yesterday with child labor laws in California not really doing shit to protect these kids. And it's going to get crazier. Watch this. So the Department of Industrial Relations, the state agency responsible for enforcing workplace labor regulations, was slow to take action on the complaints it received about Smith. According to emails reviewed by the Times, Deputy Labor Commissioner Rick Maya was notified of possible problems with PRA as early as April. But 2 years later, in an email to Squad Parent, Maya said the investigation was still in the beginning phase, hasn't even started. Holy shit. It's because they don't fund these organizations, because they don't want to, because they don't give a shit about kids in California. Clearly. The earliest letter sent to the Division of Labor Standards Enforcement by a parent who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retribution from Smith. Hear that. This person doesn't want to be said who she is because she's scared of retribution from Smith. They're scared. Complained about a squad shoot during the COVID-19 lockdown and alleged ongoing child labor violations. The correspondent stated that Smith failed to obtain a permit to employ minors, did not provide water or snack breaks, and did not employ a set teacher. It also says Smith did not pay the kids who worked for a multi-million-dollar business. That's where we left off. Smith acknowledged filming during the pandemic lockdown, but said she abided by COVID-19 screening protocols. Yeah, I don't believe you. I've tried to follow the same practices as every other YouTuber regarding what is required to make a YouTube video and upload it. You're bad at this, Tiffany. Maya sent a letter on behalf of DSLE to Piper in 2022 advising her that she must comply with child labor laws, according to a lawsuit. So they get all this shit and they're like, oh, just, you might want to start doing this. How about you send her the fine for $20 million? According to a spokesperson for the division who would not confirm or deny the correspondence was sent, such a letter would serve as a notice to employers to discontinue unlawful practices. But her lawyer said, well, we started doing it because we realized, we got to change with the times. It sounds like she was forced to. So that's a lie. In his email to the Squad Parent a month later, Maya said the case had not been presented to the district attorney, adding that these cases do take time, and it's a type of case we have not dealt with. This is new territory. So take your sweet time then, I guess. Who cares? No, it means you got to get this shit done to protect the kids coming up in this industry now. They don't care. Get with the times, assholes. Maya declined an interview request, and the DIR would not confirm or deny that it was investigating Smith. Smith said she was only aware of receiving a subpoena for business records from the labor commissioner. Uh-oh. How Piper became a star. Piper was watching TLC's Toddlers and Tiaras. The shittiest, most garbage shit in the world. Talk about child exploitation. Holy shit. When she first realized she wanted to be performed, she was 4. Okay. It wasn't the mom at all, eh? I can do that, she said, pointing at television, and I can do better than them, Smith recalled her daughter. Oh, yeah. Sounds like she's a product of what you created her to be, Tiffany. Ever since Piper said her mom was supportive of all her dreams, no matter how big the sacrifices, Smith's pregnancy with Piper was unexpected. She was working as a dog groomer, and she said her boyfriend did not want to have the baby because he hoped to become a rock star. Great parents. Smith kept the baby, living with her parents and raising Piper as a single mother. I was never really one of those girls that made not having a dad a personality trait, Piper said during the Zoom interview, except she's done videos on it. Toying with her necklace. I thought it was cool. I got my mom as my best friend. Your mom's exploiting you, Piper. They developed a symbiotic relationship. Today they interact almost like teenage friends. Yeah. See what she's saying? See the article? See what the author is writing here? Tiffany acts like a teenager to her 15-year-old daughter. It's not mother-daughter. It's teenage friends. And there's allegations of drugs, alcohol, everything going on inside the squad that Tiffany provided for these kids. In conversation, the mother and daughter finish each other's sentences, giggle at the same jokes, and simultaneously bristle at any allegation of wrongdoing. I feel like she saved my life, Smith said, her voice quavering. I don't love myself at all, but when I had her, I just felt like I had a purpose in life. Okay. Smith was raised in an unstable home. Her parents had a fraught relationship, divorcing and then reuniting a few years later. The split when she was 9. A few years after this, okay. had a fraught relationship, divorcing and then reuniting a few years after the split. When she was 9, her family moved from Long Island in New York to Canton, Georgia, a small town at the base of Blue Ridge Mountains. Her sister, Patience Rocksmith, 37, said her parents made the move in order to help their father stop drinking, and it didn't work. Patience remembered Tiffany as a star student who also played flute, first chair in the school orchestra. After graduation, Patience said Tiffany attempted to model and got headshots done. In an interview, Patience described her childhood home as an abusive and dysfunctional. She said that vulgarity was common and that Tiffany made lewd jokes and often bullied her. Tiffany vehemently disagrees with this assessment, as well as the idea she wanted to be in showbiz. Of course Tiffany's going to disagree with all shit. This is what Tiffany continued to be and do to the kids in her squad. Instead, she said she's devoted her life to Piper's career. Also, to this is what you meant to say. A lot of people think she's living her life that she didn't have and pursuing it through me, Piper said. Absolutely not. She's making it so perfect for me. Tiffany said that when Piper was 7, she was feeling very defeated in the pageant world and began talking about an app called Musical.ly. The shit these people put their kids on the internet, it's so crazy. You can get featured on this app and you can get famous, Smith said. On the app, an early incarnation of TikTok, users shared short clips of themselves, lip syncing, blah, blah, blah. With Smith's approval, a friend helped Piper start an account in May 2016, and within months, Piper became one of the more popular creators on the platform, with her name regularly showing up in the top 10. Funny that, eh? A kid gets in there and becomes top 10. That's funny. Isn't that weird how that works on the internet? In November 2016, Smith took Piper to LA to attend a Musical.ly meet and greet with other popular users. A social media manager approached them here and he wanted to represent Piper and suggested she start her own YouTube channel. Family split time between LA and Georgia until 2019 when Smith decided to rent a boxy modern apartment in a building near Hollywood. They soon started working and living with Hill, the young guy, who met and befriended the mother-daughter through Musical.ly. Hill moved from Wyoming at 19 in hopes of becoming an influencer, but after studying the inner workings of YouTube's platform, he decided to abandon his dreams of stardom and to focus on promoting Piper's channel. He began working as an all-around producer and metadata whiz for PRI. Filming, think of that metadata whiz thing, that's important. Filming and editing content for the squad while ensuring that videos had tags and thumbnails that primed them for success. And apparently knowing someone named Alex. Hill said he took inspiration from the squad from celebrity boxer and vlogger Jake Paul's influencer collective, Team 10, which was formed in 2016. Paul's group forged a thriving social media empire through pranks and challenges and created a blueprint for hundreds of similar collab or content houses. Unlike Team 10, whose members were teenagers, the squad was composed primarily of tweens, most of whom had their own YouTube channels that Hill managed. Hear that. Hill managed them. If squad members started to make money off those channels, and nearly all of them did, they said they paid 10% of their profit to Hill. So not only were they not paid to be on Piper's channel, they had to pay them. Don't miss that. Eventually, Hill said in an interview he's producing more than 70 videos for the squad per month, only a fraction of which were for Piper's channel. Hill vehemently denies claims of abuse in the lawsuit. Well, of course he... What are these people going to be like, you're right. They're right. So stupid. And he says he doesn't understand why the former squad members are so upset, because these kids were making more money than my mom makes an entire year. Because you're being taken advantage of is being taken advantage of, regardless of how much money you make. Smith agrees. Oh, does she agree with him, her boyfriend? Okay, cool. Noting that once their channels were monetized, squad members were earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. This happened even though she says they did not assemble the group as a money-making scheme, but rather she sympathized with how difficult it was for kids. Constantly getting rejected and going up for roles against their best friends. So stupid. So they were coming to me and asking for help, and I helped them. You're Mother Teresa. Somebody get this woman an award or something, a cookie. Before Piper became a brand, she would audition for outside projects, but once the squad formed, she committed herself fully to her social media endeavors. Squad members said they were strongly discouraged by Smith from auditioning elsewhere or signing contracts with others. I hope that shit's in writing. Smith said this is untrue, but noted if we made a specific time commitment to each other, we would honor that and schedule other projects around it, which boxes her in. Because she's like, well, it's just loosey-goosey. So it wasn't like she's trying to make it sound like it was just like fun, or just we're going to do this day. But she just said there, well, we scheduled for a certain time. You're not able to go do other things. Does that sound like a contract? Okay. Why would you say that, idiot? Your lawyer's like, shit. For a time, Piper and many squad members appeared to be mutually benefiting from the collaboration, earning a substantial amounts of money through advertisements on YouTube and brand deals off platform. How brands and social media platforms broker these deals with minors is a huge sticking point for critics. Companies are making billions of dollars off content created by children without being held to the same standards as typical Hollywood production. Child labor laws. According to child labor experts, including Biz Parent Co. See, I need to get in touch with Biz Parents. I need to get in touch with them. What YouTube could and should be in trouble for is their policies about who they allowed to monetize. That's not going to happen. YouTube creators need a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours within the prior 12 months to apply for monetization. YouTube has about 2 million monetized accounts. Channel Metersly said 2021 the company paid $15 billion to those partners. That's why YouTube is still the king of the hill in terms of how creators can make the most consistent form of revenue. Monetized views get you paid. Likes and engagement don't get you paid. Interesting. Another way creators make money is through product placement with sponsored content, which has its own set of potential pitfalls for minor performers. Companies advertise on YouTube are getting cheap marketing, providing influencers free products in exchange for video. Many influencers making a living from their work would tell you this is a full-time job, said Henry, adding that any brand that aligns itself with channels that are not adequately protecting minors could face public blowback. Should face public blowback. If the kids are wearing Mickey Mouse things and doing a trip to Disneyland and that's their placement, said Henry, then Disney is in trouble. The Disney Channel has partnered with Piper in the past, most recently in August, when she promoted the Disney Channel show Hamster and Gretel. On TikTok and Instagram, a Disney representative did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, Disney doesn't give a shit. Hollywood was the dream, the promised land. Oh my God, how long is this article? Holy shit. How the squad joined Piper and how they left her. Hollywood was a dream that was promised a land of content, houses with infinity pools, studio backlots, star sightings at a breakfast. It was where the squad kids wanted to be there. Equally ambitious parents moved mountains to get them there, relocating them from thousands of miles away, Georgia, Ohio, Texas, for a shot at stardom. And that's where I come in and I say, F you, you dumbasses. Shame on you for doing that to your children. Are you out of your effing mind? Piper was on the same track and her path collided with theirs. They'd meet on commercial auditions or the sets of small online productions. Kids with respectable online followings received invitations to collaborate via DMs from Piper's Instagram. I'm going to skip through some of this because it's crazy. Boys and girls were paired in romances that resulted in staged conflict. Piper documented her first kiss with her boyfriend on camera and tried to make her ex-boyfriend jealous with a new boyfriend. She competed with her friends in challenges to see who could lock lips or hold hands the longest. And people were letting their kids watch this shit. Jennifer Bryant, the mother of 16-year-old plaintiff Walker, said that crushes were fabricated between kids who didn't understand the implications and that she and other mothers were uncomfortable with the practice. And yet you still let your kids be in it? Interesting. Piper said that many of the kids had genuine feelings for one another, but that sometimes crushes were created for videos at request of parents eager for extra views. Oh. That's Tiffany's moneymaker, Brian said. Anything crush-related or boyfriend-girlfriend related. That's right. Another mother, Angela Sharbino, said Smith told her she used to put Piper and her crush alone in a room together for 30 minutes a day to create chemistry between them. Later, Sharbino said that Smith suggested she try the same tactic with her son, Sawyer, and his crush. Smith says this is untrue, adding that Piper and her crush naturally had chemistry and enjoyed each other's company. This is Sawyer here. Smith was deeply invested in the teenage romances. According to squad parent Ashley Rock Smith, Tiffany sent Piper a daily iPhone checklist cataloging the attention she needed to pay her boyfriend, including sending him heart emojis, giving regular kisses, hugs, and loving touches. Ashley said Tiffany urged her to keep a similar list for her 13-year-old daughter Claire to use with her crush. Smith denies this. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be receipts though. Ashley is the wife of Tiffany's sister. Patience. Oh, okay. When they married in 2016, Patience became a bonus mom and gained two stepdaughters, Claire, 13, and Reese, 10. During visits to her native Georgia, Piper collaborated with her eldest cousin on videos, something that made Claire obviously feel so special. Ashley recalled Claire outgoing and self-assured, later went on to create her own channel. Reese did not. In 2020, Ashley and Patience moved their hemp business to Las Vegas, with LA just a few hours away. Claire could become a more regular member of the squad, and Patience was hopeful that her strained relationship with Tiffany might be healed through their children. When Patience took to Claire to LA, they sometimes stayed in Smith's guest house, which was typically reserved for families' rescue cats. All 60 of them. Eventually, Reese joined the month-long trips while Ashley stayed behind to work. Month-long. School. Claire loved being with her cousin. They made chores fun by singing. She said they both loved Christmas music, but life in the house quickly deteriorated. The filming schedule was hectic, and Ashley grew worried that Claire was falling behind in school because she wasn't getting enough sleep. Man, this shit's gonna... Oh, can't wait to watch this drama unfold in court. Smith, former squad parent, said could be unreasonable and demanding, quick to anger and controlling, and that when anybody spoke up about their concerns, she would gaslight and belittle them. Smith denies this assessment of her conduct. They're lying. They're jealous. There's tremendous personal animosity towards me, which is unfounded, unfair, and untrue. Yeah, that's you. The first time I went, I was so excited until Tiffany started to yell at me and stuff, recalled Reese, who was more shy and soft-spoken than her sister. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. In June 2021, the Rocksmith family cut ties with the squad and would join the lawsuit before the year was out. Even kids who were on the fringes of the group expressed discomfort with Tiffany Smith's behavior. Don Ladd, 15, is one of the only plaintiffs in the lawsuit who came from Southern California and from money. He and his mother, Yvonne Dower, live in a $3.7 million angular modern mansion cut into the hills of Los Feliz with a distant view of downtown jagged skyline. His father is a real estate investor with multi-million-dollar properties across Southland. As a boy, Don Ladd often showcased his family wealthy lifestyle using the moniker the richest kid in America, which is okay. In 2020, Don Ladd said Smith DM'd him through Piper's account asking to film together. About a week later, the squad turned up in a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at his dad's Kardashian-esque mega mansion in San Diego to shoot a house tour. Don Ladd, who'd never entered into financial agreements with PRA, called the experience filming that day chaotic and weird. He made only a handful of videos with the group in 8 months, finally stepping away in 2021 after objections from his mom about Smith's conduct. Dower's reservations were intensified by a 2017 video that had been circulating online, which Smith appears to aggressively kiss a 17-year-old boy. And it appears she does. Parent chatter about the video paired with Dower's bad feeling was enough for her to ask Don Ladd to leave and the exit was potentially made easier, she noted, because they were in a unique situation of not needing money generated by the squad. PRI takes advantage of kids who moved here to make it famous, Dower said. Single mothers using YouTube to support the family, there's a lot of those in this group. That's gross, that you need your child to pay your bills. You should be ashamed you're a bad parent for doing that. Shame on you. Stevie Arico, the mother of a squad member named Corinne, who met Piper when both families lived in Georgia, said she was shocked when she saw the 2017 video clip, but was told the kiss was consensual. Nope. We watched it. I have it here. You can see it. It was not consensual. And he came out later and said it wasn't consensual. She said she was already leery of Smith and began distancing herself after that. Some parents of the plaintiffs say they did not view the video until after they left. Liars. Others, however, say they had seen it. The footage and their stated concerns about net safety and Smith's allegedly inappropriate behavior were among the reasons they say they pulled their kids from the group. And here's the thing. We know that that video exists. Those parents who have kids in the squad to this day, they know that exists out there. And yet, let their kids work with this predator. She should be in jail for what she did, just that. And there's video proof of it. She should be in prison. Even so, leaving the squad was difficult for many, and not just because of the money. Friendships ended. Claire tearfully recalled realizing a girl she left behind in the squad had deleted all the photos we had together off her Instagram. It was almost like we didn't... Guys, I know this is super long-winded, but honestly, if just me reading this gets it in your ears, just try to take it in parts maybe. But there's a lot here, and I'm glad we're doing it. Here's when the serious allegations come out. When the churn of life with Piper came to a halt, gone was the dopamine rush of social media likes and attention. The kids' subscriber bases began to dwindle in tandem with their in real life social circles. Some fell into depression, others stopped making YouTube videos altogether. Parents were worried, alleging the lawsuit that PRI had harmed their kids' online reputations and caused a loss of income. It was only when they met the lawyers in 2021 to discuss their alleged claims against Smith and Hill that the kids' sexual allegations spilled out. So they didn't know this. The kids kept it secret because they were scared of Tiffany and Hunter. Those allegations highlighted in the lawsuit led the FBI to make inquiries into Smith. The Bureau's questions extended beyond the squad to include a young man named Reagan Fingles, known as Reagan Beast on his social media accounts. Fingles was the 17-year-old shown in that widely seen 2017 video. His story is contained in one of the prior 2 lawsuits against Smith. After coming out as transgender, Fingles left his native Maryland for LA, where he connected with Piper on Musical.ly, collaborating with her on videos. Here's Reagan there. After a day of filming with Piper, Fingles said a group that included Hill and 2 others' friends decided to party and chill. at Smith's Hollywood Boulevard apartment. He was 17, but Smith provided alcohol to everyone. And I guarantee you Smith's like, no, I didn't. What does he mean? He wrote in a May 2020 signed statement later filed in LA County Superior Court. She drank a lot herself and was extremely drunk. At one point that evening, Fingal started live streaming on the app YouNow. He was seated next to Smith, then 36, on the couch, and noticed that she was becoming increasingly touchy with him. That's sexual assault, everybody. Right there. I don't care what anybody. She should be in jail just because of this. YouTube should demonetize her channel just because of this one. He wrote in the filing that suddenly Tiffany grabbed my face and started to French kiss me. Piper grabbed her by the head and pulled her back to remove her. She proceeded to kiss me again. We've all seen it, and here it is again. That shit ain't going anywhere, and that's going to show up in court. Fingles, who said in an interview he had not kissed many girls at that point in his life, was in shock and turned off the live stream. Piper, then 9 years old, was upset and began yelling at her mom about how she was gross, and she said in the statement. Kristen Hancher, Fingal's friend who was also at the apartment, told the Times she was alarmed by Smith's behavior. She was the adult in the situation and let us underage kids get intoxicated and forcefully kissed Reagan while her daughter was there watching, said Hancher, who was also a social media personality. Despite her daughter's protesting, Tiffany didn't stop coming on to me, Fingles wrote in the filed statement. She grabbed me by the waist and tried to pull my underwear. She dragged me into her bedroom. Smith denies providing alcohol to minors and says that the kiss was her response to a dare during a live stream that was supposed to be good-humored. Still assault. Don't care. Even if that's true, and it's not. Even if it was, it's still SA. There's no excuse for that. Imagine a dude did that. So imagine a 36-year-old man who's on a live stream with a 17-year-old girl and just forcefully made out with her. What would happen to that guy? He would still be in jail to this day. Flip the tables. Not fair. She contends that the incident has been greatly blown out of proportion. Nope, we saw it with our eyes. Reagan has said this himself. It's not on you to decide how it's been blown out of proportion. It's on Reagan to tell everybody how he feels about it. After leaving the apartment, Fingal said he called his manager, Matt Dugan, who also represented Piper. According to Fingal's statement, Dugan told his client he would make sure Tiffany was stopped and punished. The following morning, so this is crazy, he called the minute he left. The following morning, Fingal said he thought all the reposts of the footage of the live stream had been removed from YouTube. In fact, a clip of the kiss ultimately remained online. Feeling ashamed and unsure of what else to do, Fingal said he let the issue go. And that's why people in positions of power should be held way more accountable when this shit happens. Because they're just like, I don't want the smoke. I don't want to deal with it. And they'll just let it go. That's how Harvey Weinstein got away with what he got away with. Dugan declined to speak on the record. Smith said she does not recall Dugan talking to her about the incident. That's because Dugan lied and didn't talk to her about the incident. All Dugan went into mode to try to get off the internet and was unsuccessful in it. Good. Dugan, you suck ass. In June, Fingal said an FBI agent contacted him for an interview. The Times reviewed that voicemail. He said he then met with the agent for an interview to recount the 2017 incident in an hour-long recorded session. An FBI spokeswoman, Laura Emler, said the agency can neither confirm or deny the existence of an investigation. Why? I guess because they have an ongoing investigation, which would be good news. In subsequent months, the FBI interviewed at least 6 kids from the squad's lawsuit, according to their parents. Some of the plaintiffs said they have shared the allegations of sexual misconduct outlined in their legal complaint. This gives me hope because the FBI is saying we're not going to comment on it because there's an open investigation. Please be the case. One of the claims was made by former squad member Sophie, who said the lawsuit that she allegedly witnessed Smith grab Piper's face and make out with her. That's another person, by the way. Sophie Fergie. In an interview and in the lawsuit, Sophie recalled that Piper tried to push her mother away, but Smith replied, "What? I'm just trying to teach you how to kiss. You're going to want to learn if you're going to be with boys." Smith strongly denied the claim, as did Piper. That's honestly kind of funny that they even said that, Piper said. That's sick to think about. So they just made that shit out of whole cloth after everything we've seen? We literally see Tiffany on video doing that to somebody. And you think it's out of the realm of possibility that she'd do it again? Okay. We believe you. Sophie, now 15, said she met Piper in 2017 while filming a web series. They hit it off so well, she and her mother, Heather Trimmer, decided to rent a place with Piper and Smith. "We became inseparable," said Trimmer. "Now I would warn anybody to stay away. I'd rather be broke working at McDonald's than to do this path again." Trimmer said that life in the house was difficult and chaotic. She recalled visits from both LAPD and the Department of Children and Family Services while she was living there. Oh shit. Really? Trimmer, I would like to talk to you. The DCFS declined to comment, but the Times reviewed a letter that the agency issued Smith in May 2020 saying it had closed an open referral to her because it found allegations of child abuse and neglect unfounded. Because they went in and said, oh, you have money? No problem. See you later. DCFS and DCF and DPS and all these child protective agencies are absolute, utter shit for kids who are exploited. They don't do shit. And they should be ashamed of themselves. Public records show that the LAPD visited Smith and Piper's residence 6 times between April 2020 and April 2022. 6 times. An LAPD spokesperson declined to comment. Smith acknowledged that police visited her home in response to a third party who directed minors on social media to make false police reports against me. Another time she said officers arrived at her residence had been vandalized. Trimmer, a photographer, said Smith often urged the kids to pose more provocatively for thumbnail photo shoots, and we can see that. We have that in the video that I created. Absolutely she did. There's proof of that. And there's proof with this video that Hunter filmed of these kids doing basically what ends up being like a Playboy photo shoot. That's absolutely bonkers that nobody said shit about this. I can't wait until all this is placed in front of a judge's eyeballs and hopefully a jury. I can't wait till they get to see that what we've all seen. She would frequently tell the squad members to make sexy kissing faces for thumbnails, to push their butts out, to suck their stomachs in, or wear something sluttier, and would otherwise position plaintiffs' bodies in explicitly and sexually suggestive positions, which we can see in the thumbnails. Trimmer, who was tasked with ordering clothes for some of the girls, said Smith told her to make sure Piper's stuff is slutty. That's her look. And she's what, 9? 9? Oh my God. Smith said she never did that. We don't believe you. Amid rising tensions, Trimmer and Sophie left the house and the squad in late 2020. The lawsuit also contends that Smith asked squad members, including Corinne and 11, about their sex lives, encouraged some to try oral sex. Corinne said in an interview that Smith once asked her if she'd ever given a blowjob before, even though the child did not know what the sex act was. She was like, I'll show you, just try one on Hunter. What? She was like, I'll show you. Just try one on Hunter. Corinne said in the 2019 incident. She said she was going to pull his pants down and I was turning away and Piper was like, Mom, stop. I didn't know that. Oh my God. Holy shit. This is Corinne here. So if Corinne is saying, and I believe Corinne because I believe the minor, she's like, I'll show you. And she pulled Hunter's pants down in front of her as Corinne turned around and Piper said, stop. Oh my God. How is this woman out and making content still? How is YouTube still allowing her to make content? Piper and Hill denied Corinne's allegation and Smith said it was absolutely false. Why did they even put these lines in there? I guess because they have to. Journalistic integrity. But we don't believe you. We believe the child. She also denied some of the most bizarre claims in the suit, those involving her beloved dead cat, Lenny. Piper and her mother are serious cat lovers. Yes, they are. They have, again, 50 to 60 cats. Piper and her mother are serious cat lovers. Trimmer said that when their favorite cats died, they were cremated and put on a white Wayfair shelf by the door. She estimated there were at least 8 boxes of ashes. One of the family's favorite cats was Lenny, the kitten Piper got when she was 6. If Piper was anxious before competing in a beauty pageant, Lenny, voiced by her mother in a high-pitched, scratchy voice, would give her a pep talk. Tragedy struck just before Lenny's first birthday. Piper found her beloved pet bleeding from every hole in his body. Smith recalled they rushed him to the veterinarian, but he didn't make it. Again, these people have way more cats than they need. So, you know, I mourned Lenny's death, Smith, but eventually Lenny started talking again. Oh my God. That's creepy. The lawsuit states that Smith uses her Lenny the dead cat alter ego for darker purposes. Affecting Lenny's voice, she would, according to the suit, make vulgar remarks to the squad, remembering, I'm going to F you up the ass. Smith denied making that statement. She maintained that was as Lenny. She never said anything inappropriate in front of children, just in front of adults. We don't believe you. Lenny does not talk like that to the kids, she said, adding, I have no interest in kids like that. It's disgusting to me. There was no touching. There was no sexual contact. Making out with a minor. Cool. Piper's cousins Claire and Reese alleged in the lawsuit that Smith used Lenny's voice while sitting on a bed and moving her hand towards the vagina of her 9-year-old niece, Reese. In an interview, Reese said she knocked Smith's hand away but didn't tell her parents because at first it didn't make her uncomfortable. I was like, oh, it's a cat. I love cats, she said, so I didn't really think anything of it. Reese said that her experiences with Lenny occurred at various intervals between February 20 and 2021. The lawsuit alleges that Smith ambushed Reese, grabbing her by the neck, tossing her in the bed, and pretending that her right arm was Lenny's penis, while rubbing it all over Reese's face, head, and mouth. We've read this in all the allegations. She kind of did it in private, and I guess she just thought it was a normal thing for her to do. Reese said that adding Smith would, like, trap you. She would get you in a comfortable position or get you in a corner, and then she'll do it without no one looking. Smith denies these claims. Said that Reese liked Lenny and would use her voice herself, saying, "I want to be just like Aunt Tiffany." Patience and Ashley Rock Smith said this was not true. The lawsuit also alleges that Smith spanked and slapped Claire's buttocks, poked her anus over her clothing with her finger, and attempted to squeeze her breasts. This is her niece. Smith said she did play physical games with the kids, but insisted they were not sexual. One such game she said was called Cow Eat the Corn, in which she would grab another person's knee in a certain spot to tickle them. We don't believe you. Smith's younger sister, Destiny Rock Smith, questioned Claire and Reese's account of being inappropriately touched in an interview. Destiny said she had a conversation with Patience earlier this year in which Patience cast doubt on their stepdaughter's stories in the lawsuit. "You know Tiff didn't touch those kids," Destiny said. She told Patience, and Patience said loud and clear, "I know she didn't, Desi, I know she didn't." So it looks like she was caught on saying that she didn't. Although the lawsuit alleged sexual battery by Smith, Patience argued that Smith had not molested Claire and Reese. "I told her she should take a look to see what the actual allegations were against Tiffany Hunter," Patience wrote in an email. "Yes, Tiffany inappropriately touched some of the kids, but did not sexually molest them. Was there intent? I do not know the answer." Yes, it is a molestation. I don't care if you're being jokes about it. It's not appropriate. Numerous squad members also allege that Smith regularly interacted online with a man posing as a young girl named Megan, who sent her money, a Gucci bag, laptops, lawn furniture, and other expensive gifts in exchange for images of Piper. In the lawsuit, Corinne says she witnessed Smith mail several of Piper's soiled training bras and panties to an unknown individual, adding that Smith told her old men like to smell this stuff. That, to me, of this whole case right there, breaks my heart, because she's putting her daughter in so much danger by doing that. "That's untrue," Smith said about the undergarments. She also said she never traded images of Piper for goods. Megan simply sent the goods without asking. In an interview, Smith acknowledged that Megan did send Piper a lot of stuff, including money to Smith's PayPal account. If she returned the funds, Smith said Megan would send double the amount. She kept the money and didn't argue because Megan once sent her a photo of a loaded gun. And that was a little scary. Oh my God! So this person you're sending pictures, this person sends you a picture of a loaded gun and you send them soiled bra and panties? And she says that's a lie. But right there, you just admitted that she would send you money. If you send it back, they would double it and then sent you a picture of a gun. So why are we going to believe you? If they sent you a picture of a gun, is that why you sent soiled bra and panties? So call the person out, get them arrested. That's a threat. Asks for more information on the identity of Megan. Smith said, "I feel like that's in my past. I'm no longer linked to that person, and therefore I'm leaving that alone." Oh, that's convenient. That's convenient. Whatever. That person knows. It's in both their interests to not throw each other under the bus. That's what's happening here. Because if that person exists and they do, they're like, "Yep, I got sent bra and panties. Tiffany's going to jail." If Tiffany says this person sent me a picture of a gun, that person's going to jail. They're going to rat on each other. So it's in their best interest to not tell on each other. That's what's happening here. Oh my God. Smith and her lawyer maintain that, motivated by greed, the plaintiffs concocted salacious sexual allegations to inflict maximum damage to Smith's reputation. Well, we saw it on video. I'd love to see what her lawyer says about the video about Reagan. I'd love to hear that. She described herself as a good person whose main goal has been to just always make Piper happy. Smith said she regularly contributes money to Piper's Coogan account and noted that her daughter can spend money through her Apple Pay on her phone. Piper described herself as frugal but generous with her money. Ashley Rock Smith, a former financial operations manager, said during the year Claire was in the squad, she was alarmed at the rate money was spent by the kids in Piper's sphere. "I was watching all this money fly out of everywhere," she said. "These were kids buying Starbucks 3 to 4 times a day and would spend $500 on a pair of shoes. I looked at my daughter and said, 'Girl, don't get used to this. You're not getting your nails done every 2 weeks. You're 11. None of the kids would wear the same outfit twice." The lawsuit alleges viewership for Piper's channel nearly quintupled from 2017 to 2021, during the years that the plaintiffs filmed most actively with PRI and were unpaid. So Tiffany's going to say, well, it's all Piper. But this proves that it doesn't grow. It quintuples when she starts bringing these other kids into the squad and talking about crushes and challenges and shit. So they should be paid for that. It also alleges that Hill tampered with kids' YouTube channels after they left the squad using bots and a contact at YouTube Alex to boost squad members and quash rivals. Oh my God, I want to know if this is true. I want this to be outed. Hill told The Times that he never interfered or manipulated former squad members' channels. He said he made up Alex because he was working constantly for more than a dozen clients and under a mess. Nah, that's a lie. That's a lie. And if Hunter's uploading videos regularly for these other channels, he has the login credentials for those things. He probably made the channels for them. So he was definitely, if they can prove that he was messing, that's fraud. That guy can go to jail for fraud, theft. That's bullshit, man. He made up Alex. I don't believe you. What's the benefit of making up that someone works at YouTube? What? I wouldn't say I lied, he said, pausing. Yeah, I guess I did. These parents were at my throat like, my kid's not making as much money this month, or this is happening to their video and they're blaming me for it. It was just easier for me to simply be like, let me go ask someone at YouTube. Smith put it more bluntly. If we knew someone at YouTube, would we be demonetized right now? Well, yeah, because if Alex does exist, he's probably like, I'm out. See ya. Don't you say a word, I won't say a word. He wouldn't mess with it more, probably being investigated. So, these people, like, the excuses and lies they're making up is bullshit. You think we're stupid? Smith and Hill maintain that former squad members lost YouTube revenue because they said they were no longer associated with Piper, and thus no longer benefiting from her fame. If we're talking star power, Piper's the star, right? Said Hill. You put her face on a thumbnail, you're getting 50% more clicks. While in the squad, Walker's average monthly YouTube revenue was nearly $28,000, but after leaving, it dropped to over $4,800, the lawsuit states. Corinne said her career suffered because Smith badmouthed her to potential brand partners. Smith denied doing this. That's libel and slander. You could sue for that. But Corinne's mother, Eriko, insisted the lawsuit isn't just about being reimbursed for alleged lost earnings. Corinne played with Barbies, and then all of a sudden she got transformed into a kid who just knows way too much and doesn't know what to do with it. In a way, my child deserves to be compensated for that trauma, that type of impact on our childhood years. Look, Eriko, I get what you're saying, but it's partly your fault. Let's be real, Tiffany did that shit, yes, but you put her there. These parents need to be blamed too. You hold some of the responsibility for putting your kid in that position. Your kid doesn't get there without you. Just so we're being fair here. Corinne and her mother have grown closer as a result of the dispute, but at least one squad member has been estranged from his mother as a result of his participation in the group. Jonna K. Ramirez claims that her son Jensen, now 16, was urged by Smith to end his relationship with his mother. According to a separate ongoing legal dispute in Los Angeles County Family Court, Jensen began cutting Ramirez out of his life in 2020. When she sought to remove him from the squad because she felt it was a modern-day social media sweatshop. By April 2021, Ramirez said that Jensen was seeking to legally emancipate himself. He did that, and his dad was part of that. Removed him from his mother's care because they wanted to make money on social media instead. Those motherfuckers. Hey, so I called the number Tiffany gave me for the emancipation attorney, he said in a text message sent to the squad parent that was viewed by the Times. 5 months later, Smith texted Jensen a Zillow listing for a $775,000 property in Van Nuys. This would be perfect for you, Smith wrote. Smith said she provided support to Jensen because he was having family difficulties. Caused by Tiffany! And she sent the listing because she was told that he and his sister did not want to live with their mother. Such a bitch. Jensen did not respond to requests for comment. Talk to Jensen's dad, too. That asshole. An unregulated environment. Oh, my God. It would take a major regulatory effort to rein in what critics call the Wild West atmosphere of social media content creation. I don't care what it's going to take. Get it done. That's not an excuse to let it continue. Companies skirting child labor laws is one problem, said biz parents. So is the attitude of the influencers themselves and the lack of oversight. Despite their aspirations, many squad members did not have the level of professional experience to qualify for union membership in SAG-AFTRA, which can protect members from abuses. After YouTube demonetized Piper's channel in February, Smith and her attorney tried unsuccessfully to reverse the decision. But it looks like it is monetized now, though. Shortly after the squad's complaint was filed, some brands distanced themselves from Piper, Zuru Toys, whose many brands products Piper frequently promoted on TikTok, and it stopped working with her. Good. Other companies continue the collaborations with Piper on both her TikTok and Instagram pages. She's recently promoted the child makeup brand Petite and Pretty, Warner Brothers DC League of Super Pets. Oh my God. Smith says she fears Piper's life will be ruined because of the legal drama. I don't care. Make me look like a monster. I'm used to it, she said. They're using me, but they're hurting Piper. You're hurting Piper. This is on you. Piper said she wants to continue posting on her channels until she hits her personal goal of acquiring 10 million YouTube subscribers. She hit that mark 2 months after the interview, but she admitted that the lawsuit has taken a toll on her. She's been eating less because she's often sick to her stomach. Tiffany's fault. I don't even know who I am anymore because of this, she said. I'm just trying to keep up a good look for social media and keep the kids happy. This is a 15-year-old girl saying words like, I don't know who I am, and I'm just keeping this up to keep the kids happy. Unless that's Tiffany saying that. I feel like everything that I have right now is really getting stolen from me. There's no way I can get it back. Oh, that's the end of it. Amy Kaufman and Jessica Gelt, great article, very well written, very well researched and established, incredible. I hope that Tiffany's shit is still canceled to this day. YouTube has a responsibility to these children. Until this lawsuit's done, none of them should be monetized. None of them. If you are a parent and you put your kids in these squads, you're to blame too. I don't care if you knew or you didn't know. You still put your kids in this situation, knowing that Hollywood is the worst thing that could ever happen to children. So, once this shit goes to court, you know I'm going to be there with bells on. I am so invested in this because of the future ripple effects and ramifications it has in the legal system, especially in California, especially with kids online. I hope this is a precedent-setting situation where courts in the future and everybody can start suing their parents because of this lawsuit. I hope Tiffany ends up in jail. I hope Hunter ends up in jail. I hope Piper can be emancipated from her mother and go somewhere safe and get off the internet. That's what I hope. This is the scariest thing on the internet so far to this day that we've seen, and this shit is just getting worse. And all Tiffany's like, I didn't do any of that shit. They're all lying. They're jealous. Hey, Tiffany, I hope you go to jail for 25 years. I hope you spend the rest of your life behind bars. That's what you deserve for doing what you've done to these children. Shame on you, asshole. You too, Hunter. Karma is a bitch for you guys, and I hope it comes back to bite you in the ass for the rest of your lives. Hope you never get another job as long as you live. Taking advantage of kids should land you in jail for the rest of your life, and that's what you guys have done. You bunch of dickholes. Everybody take a deep breath. Whew. I talked so much I lost my voice. That's crazy. That was an amazing article. Thank you for sticking with me through the whole thing. I hope we got all the information out. We're going to follow this together. I'm heading up to Los Angeles for this thing if it's open. I just got to find out if it's open. But thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this conversation because this one is a big deal. On the DCP channel, this is a benchmark case, and we are going to follow it really closely. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this, subscribing, liking, and just joining the conversation. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.